Hi, this is B. I've decided to just make a really quick video on how I finish my paper piecing quilts. I don't put binding on my paper piecing quilts because I like them to be more open-ended, and I feel it makes them feel more alive when you don't put a binding on, or for me at least. I mean, there's nothing wrong with bindings on quilts, on any quilts. Personally, I just think these paper pieced quilts, or mine, are so colorful. I don't feel like they need a binding, or like I said, I feel they are more alive without the binding on it. Plus this edging, this cute little zigzag, I like how this looks, so I like to keep that by when the quilt is finished. So I'll show you how I do this really quickly. So let's say this is all quilted in here. I keep these 2 rows unquilted. So these are still open and they still have their paper in it when I'm done. So what I do first is take all the paper out, and then I take my paper ruler, my my quilting ruler, not this one, but the big plastic one I have, and I cut the whole thing off about a 1/4 inch out. I just take my rotary cutter and go all the way along, and then these are cut off right sort of here. So this is what it would look like. And obviously this is cut off too. I try to cut the batting just a little shorter than the rest because you don't want a lot of bulk in there. So this would be about this. So the binding would be cut to right about, I mean the batting would be cut to about where these end. Okay, maybe even a little shorter than that, but I cut that by hand with scissors, not with my rotary cutter. And then it would look about like, well, this would be a bit shorter. Clearly, it would look a bit like this. And then I get my sewing needle and I start on an edge of the quilt, on a corner, and as I go along, I fold this in so that these edges are even, like so. And I fold the backing in as well. And then I just start sewing like so. I mean, get your knot buried, obviously. And then a little bit out of here. And then out of here again. And obviously you're going to make smaller stitches so that, you know, they're not as visible. I'm just doing this really quickly. But this is how I go around the entire, well, across this entire side. And where are we here? So you can't really see it, but I will go across this entire side like this. Okay. Now let me show you the other side. Let me make a knot in this again. Right. And put this aside for now. There we go. So you would finish this entire side like this, and then I go around this side, and the way I do this is, okay, let's flip this up here. Right. So, oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to. There we go. So I again take my quilting ruler and I put it down, and here I go across just above the point of those little triangles, just above. I mean, really just like one of those tiny little, I'm measuring in metric usually, so I'm not really sure what these tiny little bits are called, but you know, just about 1 or 2 of these little lines above those points of the triangle. Put your ruler down and with your rotary cutter just cut it all off. Okay, and then again the batting is going to be, ooh, my cat here, a little shorter than the rest because you don't want it to be bulky, and this would be ending just about here, Oop. All right, so it would be just like this. And then I go along. As I go along, I cut in here. I make a little cut in here that goes to down to about there. And then you can fold this edge in like so. And then you can fold this edge in like so. And again, you would go and just start at the corner, obviously from where, you know, where you came around the corner there. You would go like this, and a tiny little bite out of here. And again, I don't really match my threads very much. Maybe I match it to the backing, but if you want to match threads to all the front pieces, you're going to be there forever. So I just use whatever thread is laying around, which I have, what I'm, you know, what I feel like using or what needs to be used up. Oh, come on. And obviously this is not very clean right now because I'm just doing this on the fly and not as precisely as I would do it to my quilt when I'm doing it. But you just take little bites out of one side and then out of the backing. See? Going in here and going into the front of the quilt. And since you cut your batting a little shorter, and like I said, I would cut it to about there, just about not even, yeah, maybe a 1/4 inch shorter than the end of this valley here. This is where my binding would be cut. But then you end up with it looking like this, and your quilt has this really cute zigzag edging. If you don't want this, obviously, oh, let me get this off. Obviously, you could just lay it down, cut it flat, and you can put your binding around. You could leave the backing longer. Like, let me get this off. You could leave the backing longer. Sorry, I've notched this again. I had to have my phone plugged in this time. So you could leave the backing longer and then fold it over the top and make this your binding. Or you could, you know, make a bias binding from any of the fabrics you used in here or whatever you have laying around the house and make a binding like that. I just feel that's, you know, so final. I like the quilts to be, since they are so fun and so alive and so vibrant, I need this to be not cut off like that. But again, there's nothing wrong if you do put a binding on your quilt. Again, there's different ways. You can just make a bias binding from fabric you have around, or you can leave your backing a little longer and fold that over the top and then miter these edges. A whole bunch of different ways to do this. There you have it. Again, I do mine by hand and I blind stitch the whole way around. So I have this fun little edging there, and I make the edge over here. This one is a straight edge. So that would end, what did my, here. So it would look like this over on this side, and that's a fun side. Okay? I hope this helps. Bye.